Ukraine appears to be going on the offense after a new wave of Russian aggression. A missile strike in southeastern Ukraine hit an apartment building, killing at least 5 people and injuring several others earlier today. The attack comes on the heels of the Kremlin claiming it shot another Ukrainian drone in Moscow over the weekend. CBS News foreign correspondent Ramy Inocencio joins us now. Ramy, what more do we know about this Russian missile attack in Kryvyi Rih?
Yes, that's right, Lilia, in Kryvyi Rih. And what stands out to me is that this town, really, small town of about 600, 700,000 people, is the hometown of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy. So this becomes something even more personal than if any other town or city across the country was attacked. Now, what happened here is that this was a twin Russian rocket attack. 2 missiles hitting Kryvyi Rih. One was a residential apartment complex. Social media that is now out there showed this smoldering, gaping hole in the place where apartments should have been. University complex was also hit there. And from what we know, at least 60 people were also wounded. This among the dead that you mentioned. There are 5 dead, but one of them was a 10-year-old child. Now, what also sticks out to me, though, is that there are many targets across the country, across Ukraine, that Russia can target. But this shows that Russia can, of its own choosing, its own time, and its own positioning, can choose any target that it wants. So it decided to potentially retaliate from the attacks from the drones that we saw on Sunday. It just goes to show that neither side is safe and that both sides can be a target at any time.
That's right. And the Kremlin is accusing Kyiv of carrying out drone strikes in Moscow over the weekend. What are we learning about these suspected Ukrainian attacks?
Sure, suspected for sure. Ukraine and the military don't often, almost never, admit that they targeted anything in Russia. Interestingly, with this, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has said, implied really, that gradually the war is coming back to Russia. He said that more Russian attacks are inevitable and also natural and fair. With these attacks, this happened in the early hours of Sunday morning, around 3 a.m. And 2 of those 3 drones were jammed, and they were downed in the commercial district of Moscow. Social media there, we saw caught the explosion. We heard the screams of some bystanders, one child saying, "I caught it on film. It's let's get out of here, mother." And what's looking ahead now is that anything really can be targeted. What we're seeing also is that just the facades, 2 facades of these skyscrapers were damaged, and at least one person, potentially a guard, was injured there.
Well, as the Ukrainian offensive grows, I understand that you spoke with the exiled mayor of Melitopol. What did he tell you?
Yeah, we had a great half-hour chat in the city of Zaporizhia, just about an hour and a half south of here. And he's been exiled out of his own city ever since the war really began, from March of last year all the way through now. He said that the people in Melitopol are waiting, that they're hoping and they're expecting that Ukraine's military will continue its drive south, as we see it trying to do now towards the Sea of Azov, and that they have to be ready to move in, but they don't know what to expect in terms of services or what they need to rebuild. I also spoke to him, Ivan Fedorov, about whether people were tired of the war, and if he knew that potentially people around the world, Western supporters, potentially were losing support. He told me that he wanted people around the world to come to his city, to come to Ukraine, to come to the front lines and live the life that so many people here are living. He talked about living in fear every day, and he said that if people came here, they would not say, hey, pull back on support for the war. He expects them to say, we need to continue support for the war, because it's not just about Ukraine, it's about Ukraine's values, and those values, he says, are shared by the United States and Europe.
Ramy Inocencio, thank you. Your job and the job of our foreign correspondents to really bring people to the forefront of this war. Appreciate it.